Welcome to Red Eye. It's like the Love Boat. If by boat you mean cage, suspended above my rotating waterbed. Let's go to TV's Andy Levy for our pregame report. Andy, what's coming up on tonight's show?
Greg, everybody down here in America's Newsroom is outraged about how great tonight's show is. They are literally angry about how unfair it is that we're this good.
Yeah.
Coming up on the big show tonight, New York's governor is blaming his sagging poll numbers on people being nervous about minorities holding political office. Some say he's lost his mind, but others say he's gone completely mental. Then, why is Libyan President Muammar Gaddafi setting up his tent in the yard of a suburban New Jersey house? Sounds like a slumber party. I bet he knows some scary stories. And finally, the NFL targets binge-drinking fans. We'll take a hard-hitting look into just who these fans are and why they're drinking so much binge. Greg?
Thanks, Andy.
I ain't mad at you, Greg.
I would hope so. What a delightful chap. See you later, Andy. Let's welcome our guest. I'm here tonight with Faith Salie, actress, comedian, and writer. She's so hot that sunburns are now called Faith Salie burns. It's true. Michigan Congressman Thaddeus McCotter. He's out in California. He's also the Republican House Policy Committee chairman. He's so cool that icebergs call him for advice. I didn't even know they could use a phone. Bill Schultz in Haiti. He's a hairnet. And sitting right next to me, comedian Jim Norton. You can hear him every morning on the Opie and Anthony Show on Sirius XM Satellite Radio. If hilarity held it, he tried. The Cowboys would pass him around the campfire. Just screwed that joke up. And we all wish he would just crawl away and die. It's our New York Times correspondent. Good to see you again, Pinch.
Hey, where have all the great architects gone? If that question is even mildly not boring to you, check out our art and design section today. God knows I did it. I'm even starting to bore myself, Greg.
I'm sorry about that. All right. He's like the governor who cried wolf. If by wolf you mean racist white media. As his public approval ratings plummet like something that really plummets. New York Governor David Paterson said on Friday that a racist press is trying to kill his chances of running for a full term next year. The man who replaced the prosty poker, Elliot Spitzer, also said Obama would be the next victim. And over the weekend, he ventured even further into Dum Dum Village. He told a blogger that some people are uncomfortable with too many black politicians in power, saying, quote, "Part of what I feel is that one very successful minority is permissible, but when you see too many success stories, then some people get nervous." Asked to comment, here's what some people had to say. I never get tired of yodeling.
Lederhosen's not racist.
I don't know. Hey, Jim, let me ask you, could it be that he's just not a very good governor and has nothing to do with race?
Dope. He tried to tax iTunes downloads. That's why people don't like him, because he's a tax and spend liberal. People, how did you think Obama got into office? A military coup? People voted for him, you idiots.
It's so true. Governor, I got to ask you, every time, there is elements of did I just call him governor?
You did.
I just elevated you from congressman to governor. Congratulations.
No, thank you. I understand what you're trying to say. I'm familiar with your dissociative personality.
Do you think politicians of color are treated differently by the media?
I think that the only color involved in New York is the color of green. People want to keep it in their pocket. Taxes have been raised on the governor's watch. It's not a time to do it in a recession, and I think that he should look at that. In terms of what his challenges are, Greg, I think you're facing not just the media. His number one challenge right now is the Attorney General of New York, Andrew Cuomo, who's a Democrat, that could challenge him in a primary. So I think that it's based on job performance, and I would encourage any elected official right now not to vote for tax increases, or you're going to run the risk of being run out of town on a rail.
Well, thank you, President. See, he's done that job to president.
Well done, Ambassador.
Faith, we all know that you're a white racist cracker. Do you agree with Patterson that he's being treated differently, or could it be that he just feels a bit insecure because of the way that he gained office?
Yeah.
He wasn't elected. So.
Right. He's taking umbrage that he's been called the accidental governor, and claiming that no other white people who have ascended to office, like the guy who replaced Jim McGreevey and the guy who replaced the governor of Connecticut, have been called that, when in fact they have. The New York Times pointed that out, actually. And so he kept saying it was not accidental, it's a constitutional mandate. And I would say it was a mandate that got Jim McGreevey replaced. I would say it was a paid whore date that got him into office.
I'm very familiar with that.
Bill, I know you must have some sympathy as the only African-American here at the table for the governor.
Well, I guess first I'd say shut your honky mouth.
Yeah.
Second of all, I told you time and time again I'd call Hurricane Bill now. Thirdly, I would say that this actually is not usually I see racism everywhere, but I would say that this is less racist and more for the fact that he has horrible, horrible facial hair. I do not like looking at him like that. I think he needs to get a razor. It is not professional. It's just a little nubbins all over.
You know what you are? You're Harris.
I may be Harris.
You are
Harris. Harris knows no race.
And by the way, I'm looking at your face right now. That is a very pathetic.
This is unintentional. This is just 2 days of me being lazy. He does that on purpose, Greg.
Jim, you got to admit, Barack Obama was very smart to distance himself from this.
Yeah, I mean, Obama's not a dope. He sees Patterson's kind of making an ass out of himself. And he should walk away.
Yeah.
And I resent that about his hair. I think he looks very handsome if you're starring in a gay porno in the mid-'70s.
Who isn't these days?
Oh,
All right, from the loony to the Libyan. It looks like an ambassador of hate is coming to the Garden State. Libyan President Muammar Gaddafi will be plopping down a tent in the town of Inglewood, New Jersey, a lovely area, while attending the United Nations General Assembly meeting. Gaddafi, who travels with a large air-conditioned tent wherever he goes, will be staying on the front lawn of the Libyan mission to the UN. Why is it there? I don't understand. Inglewood residents are outraged. Said one quote. I was hypnotized by his whole giant outfit. They say, I think having a terrorist next door would be devastating, and I'd consider moving. The UN, however, had this to say. Oh, that was when I used to work out, but that's not the UN. Hey, I gotta go to you, Congressman. Explain to me how all of a sudden Gaddafi became an ally. I mean, we always felt this guy was nuts, and now it seems like he's not such a bad guy anymore. What happened?
Well, first, just let me make clear that in no way is this affiliated with the Republican Party's new Big Tent program.
Thank you for that.
That there are some people, even in the minority, we will not accept as members.
Yes.
Mr. Gaddafi being one of them.
Yes.
The question that you posed, Greg, is a very good one. Gaddafi had renounced his pursuit of weapons of mass destruction, had started to take steps towards being a more responsible international actor. Granted, the bar is very low. But I think with what we've seen with the release and the welcoming of one of the Lockerbie bombers back to Libya, with the public approval of what he had done, his welcome home, I think we have to have serious questions about whether Libya was serious about this, whether it was a regime conversion of convenience or conviction, and what role they intend to play. And clearly, putting your political circus tent on the lawn in Inglewood, New Jersey, is not a sign of being a responsible actor.
He's got a great point, that Emperor. Jim, I don't know. If it was your street, it'd be kind of exciting to have him there in that little tent outside.
yeah, I sure would love to go and visit him and ask him who does your hair. But what a dumb country we are. I mean, this guy was involved with the Lockerbie bombing. He accepts this animal back into his country, and what a dumb country Americans are to allow. The military should execute him as soon as he gets here. It's a terrible, terrible thing that we allow guys like this to come into the country freely and then leave safely.
Wow. That is a strong point.
Yeah.
Even went further than I would have gone.
Well, you know who his neighbor's going to be? That awful, awful media-loving Rabbi Botich Shmuley or whatever.
Shmuley Botok.
Yeah, Shmuley Botok. He's like the Michael Jackson hanger on. Like, never have a more awful Jew and a more awful Arab shared the same place before.
I mean,
and it's a great thing.
It's his next-door neighbor. He wrote the book Kosher Sex.
Yes.
This is a reality show. He's got Shmuley Botok living beside him. He's got an air-conditioned Bedouin tent he travels with 40 female bodyguards.
That is awesome.
And
I'm beginning to admire him even more now.
It's going to be the real terrorist of New Jersey. Wow. It's perfect.
It's amazing.
But, Bill, who are you to judge? You live in a tent every day of your life. And it's usually made out of soiled newspapers.
They're not soiled. The best part is that the tent that he used, which is much posher than mine, he actually requested, no lie, to be in Central Park first. They were going to put him maybe like right next to the Central Park Zoo with all the llamas and other things that he probably watches porn to. And it would just sort of be like a little Arabic Billy Madison with his cool little tent, with his goat porn and his Jerry curl. I wish he was in New York. We made a huge mistake here.
Yeah, I think
that could be considered modern art in New York, wouldn't it?
It would
like
be great.
when we have the gates.
It would be an installation.
Yeah.
A crazy, wacky installation. Okay. From Libyans to libations. The No Fun League just got no funner. The NFL is strongly urging every franchise to limit the amount of beer sold per person, as well as allowing no more than 3.5 hours for tailgating before games for the 2009 season. Says Senior VP of League Security Milt Ulrich. Quote, I can't say that name. The NFL would like teams to limit customers to no more than 2 20-ounce beers